Most NBA bettors are looking at the wrong things. They're drowning in stats, trends, and also those narratives, but still can't find consistent wins. So the real question is, what actually matters in NBA betting? Today, we're going to break that down. Now, let's talk about fundamental analysis for the NBA. The contextual factors, that explain why games don't always play out the way the numbers say that they should. We're going to start with rest because this is one of the most important factors in the NBA. Back to backs, 3 games in 4 nights, and then rest differential. These actually matter a lot. Load management has become popular in the media recently, but bettors have been tracking rest for basically years. Tired legs affect shooting, they affect defense, they also affect effort. And over an 82 game season, that adds up very, very quickly. Next is going to be travel. We're talking about time zones, they matter. Long road trips matter. And even altitude matters, especially in places like Denver and Utah. These spots consistently impact visiting teams, and the market doesn't always price it correctly. Then we're going to get into matchups. And this is where style meets style, right? We're talking about switchability, rim protection against drive heavy teams, 3 point defenses versus volume shooting teams. It's going to be style versus style, is basically what we're trying to say. Then on top of that, lineup combinations are huge in the NBA. So knowing which lineups are productive and which ones are getting exposed, this can help you find edges that don't show up in the team level stats. Next is going to be injuries. These are another major factor, especially in the regular season. Depth matters more in the NBA regular season because the rotations are wider and benches play real minutes. This is where a lot of bettors make mistakes, though. Don't carry this logic straight into the playoffs. In the postseason, benches shorten, urgency ramps up, and the best players and best lineups play more. It's just facts. Injuries will still matter, but they're priced differently. Just know that. Finally, we have motivation. As the season goes on, motivation becomes clearer. Teams either find themselves in the playoff hunt or in a lottery contention, and that's usually the line of demarcation where goals change. I'm not saying teams tell players to tank, but do general managers and coaches sometimes roll out lineups that are clearly NBA level, subpar? I guess I would say yes. I do. I think that happens. You'll also see a lot of letdown spots where teams come off big wins or emotional games. All of these factors can help explain why the market can be wrong and why fundamentals are such an important complement to market and technical analysis. So I don't want you to just eyeball this stuff. Log it into your record keeper, track how many points each factor is really worth, and then over time you can start folding them into your model and turn them into better long-term predictors. Now, let's hit some secondary and external NBA factors. These usually don't drive bets on their own, but they absolutely help confirm or fade an edge. And the first one we're going to have is coaching. Rotations, pace, and even in game adjustments matter a lot in the NBA. Coaching rotations are very similar to what we talked about in the last slide with matchups. So it's about who's on the floor together and when. Some coaches stagger stars very well, and some don't, and that's going to show up in the results. Next is going to be chemistry. This is going to be harder to quantify, but it matters, especially after trades, lineup changes, or when teams start losing buy-in. You'll feel this more than you'll see it in the box score. Next is going to be the external side. We're talking about venue. This matters, and we're not just talking about the crowd. Even though you would factor that in, the crowd does take a little bit of the portion of the pie for that. But another one is some shooters have openly talked about different lighting and sight lines in certain arenas that help or hurt their shot. So it's very subtle, but over time, these things start to show up in the data. And then finally, I think probably the most obvious one is that officiating. Officiating should always be considered in the NBA based on their history, right? We all know their history in NBA and officiating. There's really no reason not to here. Some crews call games tighter, some let them play, some impact the pace, some impact the whole effing game, right? Foul trouble, totals, everything. Donahue doesn't fit you. You just have to factor it in. That's all I'm saying is you have to factor it in. Overall, here, these factors usually won't be the headline, but when they line up with the rest of your research, they can make a good edge even stronger. So that's what you need to know. So if this way of thinking about the NBA is useful, consider subscribing and giving a like to this video. Also, please note that I'm out here with the flu, still giving you this information, still working hard for you guys, and still recording this video, even with the flu. That's going to account for something, at the least a like. That will do it for the fundamental analysis breakdown for the NBA. If you got value from this video and want to support the channel, you can always drop a super thanks down below. Think of it like buying us a coffee for all the research and information that we provide to you. Also, like the video if you want more NBA betting content. Subscribe for betting education and unbiased handicapping here at Grandstand Sports Data. And then also comment one fundamental factor that you use when betting the NBA. Like always, we appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.